How much time have you spent in relationships and friendships that you think this person's going to be my friend forever? We're going to be going through life together. Like whatever they need, whatever I need, we got each other's back. Like you really felt like this person has your best interest and you're going to walk through life together, only to realize maybe a year later or whatever that you don't even talk to them anymore, or you went separate ways, or you just don't resonate with each other anymore. And all of that time invested and spent into that relationship when you could have been investing it in your relationship with God, your relationship with your spouse, your health. Because when we neglect those things for the sake of pouring into other people all the time, or having friendships that we think, this person is so important to me or whatever, that you're spending more time with them, going out on the phone, chit-chatting, maybe gossiping, just, an overabundant amount of time invested in friendships. And then as you get older, you realize, where'd they all go? Where'd all these people go? I thought we were going to be friends forever. I thought we were going to do life together. And very, very few friendships make it past like that 5-year mark. Like very few. You might know them or be, you're cordial, oh, hey, how's it going? Or whatever, like every few months or whatever. But very few friendships stick around like your whole life. And the older I get, the more I realize that, number one, it's really hard to come by, especially for women, to find true friendships where they're not backstabbers, where they're not secretly competing with you, where they're not gossiping about you behind your back, where they're not intimidated by any success or growth. It's very hard. It's like the mean girls, they go with you the whole life. And I'm sure there's been times in my life where I was a mean girl. In fact, I know there was in my early 20s, late teens. I had some jealousy issues with, of course, we all do. Like, oh, she's got straight hair, or she's got this, or she's got that, or look at how great her life is. And you're secretly like, oh man, I'm jealous. I want what they have. Well, if you don't get rid of that behavior, rid of that attitude, then you're going to end up being that mean girl your whole life. And you have to want to see people succeed, but you have to be willing to be a little bit more fluid in those relationships as you get older, because they are not lasting forever. And if you are neglecting your health, your relationship with God, your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your spouse, because you are too busy with your girlfriends and all this stuff, that can turn into a problem. Now, I'm not saying not have girlfriends. Of course, there's friends, a lot of seasons in life. Maybe you're not married, maybe you don't have kids, and those you rely on each other. But at some point, it's weird. You do kind of separate. You split up a little bit, especially when you start having kids. You get married, and the ones that don't have kids, it's like you're not really on the same page anymore. So you're just kind of like, oh, okay, I'm busy now and my life is different. And you change, you evolve, and you grow, and your priorities change based on where you're at in life also. The older I get, the more no nonsense I want, the more no drama I want. I don't want your BS. I don't want your drama. I don't want your problems. I don't need your opinions and this and that. It's like you look for those friendships that are going to sharpen each other, or you're going to sharpen that person, they're going to sharpen you. And if they're not there, then they're not there, because you don't need so many voices in your ear all the time. You don't need so many opinions. You don't need so many things so many people telling you what you should do and all of these. You really just need a clear channel between you and God. You need a healthy relationship with you and your spouse. And I've been guilty of having friendships, and then I'm complaining to them about my spouse. I mean, most women do that. Oh yeah, and they're complaining about their husband. Well, how long is that going to last for? Because when you go home, guess who's there? Your spouse. So here you are out complaining about the person, and then you go home and you're there. Well, why not deal with it at home? Why not? And we all have frustrating situations and things, and and I'm not saying don't talk about your problems to your friends or whatever, because we all go through, and sometimes you do need advice. Sometimes you need marriage advice. But when you open up and you expose your personal problems with a girlfriend, just know they're now going to look at your husband in a different light. They're now going to be, ooh, I don't really like him. All that stuff you told me about him, man, he's a jerk. You should just divorce him. You should just leave him. And then they're going to take that And that's how they're going to view that person. They're going to view him that way, and they're going to spread it all over, when you're not friends, spread it to the family. Oh, did you know so-and-so's having problems or whatever? Every marriage has problems. Like, every marriage has issues at some point in time. Life is difficult. There's all kinds of stuff. But if you're chronically complaining about the person that God blessed you with, and I'm guilty of that. I have done that. And I've repented, and I've been like, I've chronically complained about this person, wanting them to change, wanting them to lose weight, wanting them to, be different. And, this is who God made this person to be. And they have to want to change. By me complaining to friends and family or whoever I used to, that's not going to do anything. All it's going to do is I'm emphasizing what I don't like. And when you're emphasizing and you're vocalizing, oh, I can't stand all this, then you go home and you're like, yeah, I just talked about this, just complained about this person for 2 hours with my friend. And then you go home and they're there and you're like, oh, see, look at you, it's just not a healthy place to be. So you have to bring it all in, simplify, and realize, like, what is most important? Are you neglecting marriage issues? Are you neglecting or building a good foundation in your marriage? Are you neglecting that downtime and that quiet time with the Lord? Are you neglecting the discipline in your body and being healthy? Are you neglecting that? Are you so busy with life and doing all of these other things while your body secretly suffers, while your nervous system is secretly out of whack, while the weight just keeps growing and the fat just accumulates and your joints get the pressure and your insides are getting clogged? Are you secretly neglecting you because of all of that? And then you're feeling it with, I'm going to go get my nails done because it's going to make me feel better. And I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go shop, and I'm going to go get a coffee. And you know what? I'm going to go, do blah, 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 all this stuff because it's going to make me feel better. Meanwhile, what would actually make you feel better is taking the time and saying, no, I'm going to discipline myself. I'm going to walk. I'm going to listen to positive music. I'm going to not complain, especially about my spouse, the person that God has blessed me with, that I come home to every day, or they come home to me every day, that we're in a partnership. I'm going to live intentional. I'm not just going to chase every trendy item and every cheap dupe and shop on Temu and Shein all day long and wear a bunch of plastic. I'm going to really pull it in, simplify, and also enjoy life. Being full of joy and being full of gratitude makes a huge difference in the home. A complaining wife and a nagging wife is the worst. But when you have a wife that's full of joy and peace and love, and she just radiates this confidence, and she trusts in the Lord, and she's a blessing in the home, not a curse. A negative wife and a nagging wife and a complaining wife is a curse in the home. I mean, you have got to get it under control, ladies. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be a reason for that, because there is. I mean, we all get frustrated, especially if you still have that time of the month. You can get super frustrated and blow up, and we all do that if we're going through. But we got to remember, women's bodies are on a monthly cycle. Men's are on a 24-hour cycle. It's totally different. The men's mentality is like eat, sleep, sex, provide, it's like a 24-hour thing. They wake up and they're back at it again. Women's cycle is the way you're feeling today, you're not going to feel for another 28 days because you're going through 4 different phases through that month. And each phase lasting about a week is different. Your body's different, you feel different, your emotions are different, your hormones are different. This is why it's so important to avoid those things that are triggering all the cortisol in spikes and all of the hormonal imbalances. Like if you're fasting, and women should not fast. I know there's a spiritual side to it, but women should not fast. It is not good for your body. You are messing with your hormones, your cortisol. I personally don't think they should. And I've done a lot of research on it. I know there's some benefits, but overall, women, their bodies function different than men. Also, ice baths. I used to do cold plunging. Actually, I was heavier when I did. I feel like it made me put on more weight, more inflammation, because it's a lot of stress on the body. So women, they also require more sleep. They need movement. They need downtime. They need walks. They need to regulate their nervous system. Can't be like go, go, go and frustrated and, stressed all the time. Women also need space to breathe. If your home is overly cluttered, I'm not talking about beautiful Christmas decorations that make you feel good, like mine does right now. I'm talking about the clutter, the junk, the closets, the pack, the this, the drawers, the junk, all that crap. That is affecting your nervous system. It's affecting your health. And you're putting yourself in that cycle. You're doing it to yourself. And then you're mad at your husband, When the guy's just like, well, I'm just hungry and can I get some, And you're just like, what do you mean? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do all this stuff? And they're just like, what? So ladies, we have got to really reprioritize where we're putting our time and find a friend that's going to help you. Find a friend that, maybe it's just a seasonal thing where you're going through life together and you're helping each other through that season. But friends come and they go. Your health, your body, your marriage, your home, your relationship with God, your relationship with your kids, that stuff needs to take precedence over everything else. And your spouse needs to be accountable for his choices as well, or her choices as well. Your spouse needs to be accountable for their choices as well. If they have things that they need to deal with, the wife is a reflection of that guy. She's a reflection of him, and she is only responding and reciprocating back how she feels basically on what he's doing. So if he's not providing, she's stressed, right? She can't be in a submissive type mode because she's in a alpha female type mode. She's in a work mode. She's in I gotta handle this mode. She's in a get this done kind of mode. That's not a soft, relaxed state for a woman to be in. So when the guy enters and says, hey, can we, meet up or can we spend time together? She's like, no, I'm dealing with all this other stuff. You go spend time with yourself, or whatever. So you have to make sure that your partnership is in fact a partnership. And maybe he doesn't want to spend time with you because you're overweight right now. He's not attracted to that. That could also be it too. So it's like this bouncing back and forth. Well, you're this and and you're not doing this and I'm not doing this, and you're both frustrated with each other. Well, do what you can do. Somebody who's making positive changes and positive moves, and when you see, man, that person, they're really trying to do better, that does something. You notice your kid, oh man, they're really trying better. They're really trying on their schoolwork, or she's really working out. She's really doing that. She's not sitting drinking wine every night, complaining and talking. She's out. She's going for a walk. What? Like when you start shifting that, they start seeing and they start responding differently to you because it's a response. You're getting a response from your spouse, just like you're responding to them. So it's a partnership, but you have to know your lane, and know that you can only control and do what you can do and fix those things. Like the things that are out of order, which is out of order. The friends you shouldn't have, the toxic relationships. You already know. Nobody has to tell you because you already know. You just got to do it, put an end to it, get it done. Like make the decision that you're not going to waste any more time in things that aren't growing and they're not producing. You have to look at what is producing. Is this what I'm engaging in, and is this friendship producing fruit? If it's not, and you've spent all this time and it's not really going anywhere, and it's like, it's this hassle, just let it go. Just let it pass by. Like keep on going. It's just not working out. And I know sometimes it's hard to be like, this isn't working out for me or whatever. It's hard to do, but you have to be willing to let those things go. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them a reason. You don't owe people a look into your personal life. You don't owe them that open door to see and expose all your vulnerable things. Only if you're the one exposing it to them. Oh, and I used to do that, to share, because you think, oh, this person's my friend, I can share with him stuff. They will. That's the first thing that they will do, is take what you shared with them, especially if you're going through a hard time in your marriage, a hard time financially. Those two things, they will take it and they'll turn it around and they will stab you with it. I don't care how great a friend you think they are, they're not. And they will take those things. It's very rare that somebody actually cares and walks with you. I do have a couple friends that they have walked with me, and actually they haven't been friends for a very long time. I call them God encounters because there's no way we would have even met if God wouldn't have let us bump into each other. And we've walked with each other, and there's just a mutual respect that even if you don't talk to that person for a month, 2 months, 6 months, they're still like, hey, no worries, I understand, like, I'm here for you if you need me, and likewise. And so those are some of the friendships that you realize, man, this person, they really do mean well, and they do have my best interest in mind, and you have their best interest in mind. You're not out to get something from them, and you're not secretly wishing they fail. You're secretly wanting them to succeed and have a fruitful life and have a peaceful life and enjoy life. And so those are the friendships that maybe you don't talk all the time, but you know that if you need something, they're there. But most of the time, people that you think that these people are going to be close to you, they're not. 5 years down the road, they're not there. They're not there anymore. Childhood friends. A lot of people ask me, because my kids are homeschooled, well, why don't they, what about childhood friends? Most of my childhood friends, actually, my best childhood friend, she already passed away like 4 years ago. And the other one, I never talked to them. In fact, most of my childhood friends ended up either being secretly mean girls, or there's some of the worst memories that I have growing up. Terrible things, sleepovers and all this horrible stuff. That wasn't enjoyable. Why would I want to put my kids through that? They think, oh, this person's going to be my friend forever. I mean, think about it. Your first relationship that broke up. Oh, it's devastating. This was going to be. No, it's not. It's better to just focus on the race that you have. Focus on the people the specific people, your spouse, your kids, and really, you do better. Put some time and effort into you doing better. You, not comparing yourself, not looking at what everyone else has, but you doing better. Humbling yourself, getting honest with yourself and saying, what can I do better? How can I serve my family better? How can I serve my husband better? And I am somebody who is not involved in everybody else's business. I used to be involved. I want to know what's going on with my when I say family, I mean your immediate household. I don't mean your aunts and uncles and sisters and brothers and parents. I don't mean all of them, unless your parents live with you and you're taking care of them. But I don't mean all of that extensions of family. They're on their own. They have their own race to run. You do not need to give them an explanation on how you live your life, what you do, how you raise your kids, the fact that you chose to homeschool, your marriage. Oh, I'm talking about my marriage with my mom and dad. You don't need to expose and involve everybody in your family into your personal life. So when I'm saying your family, I'm talking about who's in your household. Maybe it's just you and your spouse. That's your family, okay? Maybe it's you, your spouse, and your kids. Maybe it's just you. And, I don't know. But that's where you start. You always start in the home, in the physical home. Be present in the home. I used to spend so much time helping other people, volunteering, doing all this stuff. Very little time at home. And of course, all that time shopping and returning and all this crazy stuff. Very little time actually working on my health, my relationship with God. And actually, we just rushed to church all the time. So I'd load up the kids, my husband, we'd get there, we'd get the kids and, Sunday school. And then I would serve at the church for like 8 years on and off. And then sometimes I'd be in the service. But really, I wasn't cultivating the in-home marriage, or healthy lifestyle habits. It was just habits that were controlling our life. There's a big difference. Usually when two people get married, they have their own habits. This person has their habits, this person has their habits. Those are what's controlling. You wake up, it's all habitual. It's like boom, boom, boom. This is what I'm doing. This is how I live. This is how I am. You are controlled by your habits, your paradigms, and how you have done things for so long. And so when I say cultivate in the home, I mean you're cultivating your relationship, because when the kids are older, it's you and your spouse that's left, and the times that they are home, those are precious times. Why are you running all over the place? Why are they in a bunch of sports and this and that, and oh, my kids need to do all of this other stuff? You're robbing them of this peaceful, slow, beautiful life at home. You should be cultivating, in my opinion. Okay, man. Instead of pushing them. Like one of the reasons why I homeschooled was because I wanted my kids to do life with us. To do life. What does that mean? It means to experience life, not experience this regiment of being in school and then coming home to a big pile of homework that I got to submit to the teacher and all this. Rushing out the door was one of the worst things. I hated it when I was younger. And then my kids were they did go to like a private Christian school in their early like kindergarten years, but I hated rushing out the door. Oh, I couldn't stand it. They couldn't stand it. I'm like, why are we rushing? And then they'd get home and they're dehydrated. I'm like, they're dehydrated. I don't know what they ate today. You know, yeah, did they have fun? Was it a good experience? Sure. But you'd be surprised how many homeschool families you can find and how many things you can do as a homeschool in your community, and really just allowing them to do life. You know, kids need rest. Their development, if they're not sleeping, their development goes. They're more emotional. They're not developing properly. So the school has them for, 6 to 8 hours, and then you get them, they're tired, they got to do homework, they're crabby. So when are you cultivating your relationship with them? On the weekends? Or maybe after school they're shoved off to soccer camp or soccer practice or basketball. When are you cultivating that? Because you're too busy. You're too busy to even cultivate it. On the weekends, you're undoing it. Oh, you got to rush to church on Sunday. Now you're rushing to church so you can show up with all these other people that are also rushed to try to look nice and to try to look like you're a happy family. Meanwhile, you're freaking miserable. You hate it. You're like, oh, here we are. You just argued with your spouse over something stupid, and everybody's hungry, and you are holding your poop in that morning, and you couldn't go to the bathroom, so here you are at church with a stomach ache, trying to get the kids to their classes. Oh, but they're multiple classes because they're different ages. And you got a stomach ache, you're trying not to fart in service, you're arguing with your spouse. By the time you get out to saying hi to everybody, oh, hey, hi, how's it going? We're all hungry. You get home, and you're like, oh, I might as well go out to eat. Oh, we just spent $100 on going out to eat because we were so hungry. Oh, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Might as well sit around because we're all tired now after that rushed morning. What did you learn? Oh, that was a good service. Oh, yeah, it was good. Did you have breakthrough? Did anything profound happen? Did you have an encounter with Jesus? Did you, have deliverance? No, you probably had a good sermon, a watered down sermon, and you probably shook hands with some people, gave some tithe, clapped, sang some songs, listened to their announcements, got plugged in, and then the rest of the day, and now you're back to it on Monday. That's what we were doing for so many years. And those were some of the best years where my kids were little and fun. Obviously, they're still fun, but when they're in those ages, it's so fun. It's so precious. Slow down. Slow down in life and quit wasting the time investing in relationships that aren't going to be there 5 years down the road, or they're not going to be there. And you might not know because you think, oh, this person's my ride or die. No, they're not. They're not. Learn to say no. I had to learn to say no. No, I can't hang out anymore, because I would be like, yeah, I'm burnt out. Let's go hang out. Because then after a week of that, you're like, well, I need it. I deserve it. So we're going to go hang out. We're going to do this or whatever. And so it's a cycle. And the months go by, and what happens? You're overweight. You got a lousy marriage because you didn't cultivate it. You're all burnt out. You don't have a good relationship with your kids. The kids are tired, burnt out. Nobody's focusing on health and wellness. Then you're like, well, we need a big vacation because of how stressed out we are. This is like, so many people are in this type of cycle, the American dream. I am so grateful that God plucked me out of all that and made me wake up. And when I got to the point where I could honestly and without any guilt tell somebody, no, it's not for me. No, I'm not going to hang out anymore. No, I'm not going to entertain this toxic relationship. No, I'm not taking on your offense. No, I'm not answering the phone. I'm not going to feel guilty for your decisions. No, I'm not going to be manipulated. Like, these were things that I had to do for freedom for me, so I could be a good wife and a good mom and be happy and healthy. And not always feeling like I had to perform or show up or agree or answer the phone. It's like, as moms, if you've got kids at home, it's like you're pressured all the time. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to show up this. I mean, especially if you're a working mom and you got a needy husband maybe, or multiple kids, or just different activities, you're burnt out. Moms need time for themselves, but it has to be balanced and healthy, healthy times. And learning what to let go of is the first step. Like getting rid of the rotten fruit, getting rid of the things that aren't producing good fruit is the first step. You'd be surprised how much time you actually have when you start eliminating the things that are no longer serving you and that are no longer producing good fruit. You start realizing, oh, I do have a lot of good time. I have a lot of time to do better things, to be better, to grow. And that's where I'm at. So if you haven't seen me on here, it's because I'm enjoying life and I'm enjoying the holidays and I'm loving every bit of it, and I've been working out hardcore. I'm in my leaning phase, so I'm looking to end the year toned, tight, except tomorrow, Thanksgiving, I'm gonna eat like a cow. I'm gonna eat a lot because I love it. Love Thanksgiving. But I do the 80-20. 80% of the time, I'm clean. 20%, I'm gonna have some nice Alden's organic ice cream, or I'm gonna enjoy a cookie that my daughter made. I'm gonna have fun. So it's all part of making sure you have self-control when it needs and allowing yourself that indulgence so you can enjoy life. Can't be strict all the time, but also you can't be like a wild horse going all over the place. So figure it out, and I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving.